Alright, hello guys. In this video, we're going to be talking about our second spring forecast, which is going to be very exciting to go over with you guys. Now, before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends and family. And also, I'd like to mention that we have a very active Facebook group with over 1,000 members. It's called Weather Freaks on Facebook. That link's going to be in the description and the pinned comment down below, so please join if you do have a Facebook and enjoy having weather discussions. We have all sorts of weather model discussions and just tons of cool stuff. I highly recommend you join. Now, let's get right into the video. First things first, we're going to be talking about our precipitation forecast here. And we're going to be starting with our below average precipitation region. And first one, we're going to have two of these. Our first one there is for the Northwest, and then some of the Southwest there as well, California and Nevada. And this is going to be an area where we're going to be dealing with slightly below average precipitation, and all of the seasonal models have been trending at this and feel very, very confident in it. So therefore I feel very confident in it. It looks like we're going to have definitely a dry region right here for Washington, Oregon, Nevada, and as well as California. Now, we even have a second layer of dry conditions here, and this is going to be our moderately below average precipitation region. You can see for coastal California, coastal Oregon, and coastal Washington as well. And this is going to be an area where it's going to be a little bit more noticeable that it's dry this spring season. By the way, our spring forecast is from March 1st till the last day of May. That's what we call our meteorological seasons there. So that's going to be from March through May. All right, now we're about to get into our second area of below average precipitation and then start talking about the above average precipitation as well, which we're going to have a big area in the eastern United States of above average precipitation, which should be very exciting to take a look at here. All right, but first off, we have our below average precipitation region here, and this is going to be for the Great Lakes and a bit of the Midwest, so areas like Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, then down through Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. The models are also trending at this, but we only have one layer because they're not super confident in it. I think we have 2 out of 3 of our models that we use are calling for below average precipitation, so we're only going to go with a slight chance at below average precipitation for that region. All right, now let's talk about our above average precipitation. You can see we have one region down there for the southeastern United States as well as up the mid-Atlantic and New England coast there. And that's going to be an area of slightly above average precipitation. And I'm expecting this could help lead to more above average thunderstorms for this region. And then down there for the Dixie Alley, which is the area in the deep south that is kind of become a tornado alley. I'm expecting this could lead to some extra severe weather as well for that region. So we are going to be dealing with some above average precipitation throughout the southeast United States. And there's actually a second layer there as well, which is going to be just moderately above average precipitation. So from Louisiana through Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, and then southeastern Virginia, we could be dealing with quite a bit of above average precipitation and therefore also above average thunderstorms. All right, we're about to talk about one more area of above average precipitation, and then also we're going to talk about our temperature forecast, which is very exciting. We're expecting warmer than normal conditions for the southern United States in some regions, and then in some of the regions in the northern United States, we're also expecting to see some below average temperatures, and I'll talk more about what that means for severe weather as well, as that's a portion of the video that we're going to get into after that. All right, and as you can see, we have an above average precipitation region here set up for Montana, Wyoming, the very eastern regions of Colorado, and then some of the areas in Nebraska, Kansas, a little bit of South Dakota, New Mexico, and Oklahoma as well. This is an area that usually plays a key role in our severe weather season, especially there in Colorado, as that's a portion of the tornado alley that gets a lot of rotation and downdrafts that are caused by the wind moving over the mountains, and then just to the east of the Rockies, we see a lot of tornadic activity during the spring and summer and then fall months, but typically the spring mostly. And that's going to be interesting as we're going to have more precipitation than normal, it looks like, for this region, which could lead to more tornadoes than normal as well. So that's why that's so important. All right, now let's get into that temperature forecast here. I'm going to be starting out with that below average temperature region that I was mentioning before. Here in the northern United States, you can see mostly for the Midwest and Great Lakes regions of the United States, as well as some of the central plains there for Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri. But we see from Montana through the Dakotas and through Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, northern Missouri, and through Illinois, Wisconsin, and then into Michigan and northern Indiana. We're all experiencing some slightly below average temperatures for this region, which is going to probably indicate that we will be seeing some cold fronts come through. That could create some extra severe weather as well, especially on the very southern ends of this. So that's what we're going to be watching as we move forward towards our severe weather forecast here, which is coming up in a minute. But for right now, we're about to talk about our above average temperature regions, which is going to be very exciting because those are areas that could see more thunderstorms than normal in general with the warmer than normal temperatures, especially if it's coupled with some above average precipitation. That could lead to some above average thunderstorm development as well, which will be very interesting to take a look at. All right, and here's our first above average temperature region here, and you can see it extends from most of the western United States down through the Four Corner States and then down into Texas and Oklahoma. So you could probably imagine that specifically down there for Texas and Oklahoma is where we're going to be worried about the severe weather that could be enhanced by this warm weather there. And also notice that our Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma region is right in between the cold and the warmth comparatively to normal. Usually the colder temperatures in general are to the north and the warmer temperatures are to the south. So the fact that the south is warmer than normal and the north is colder than normal is only going to enhance the effect of the mixing temperatures that creates a lot of instability. That's only going to enhance that. So I'm expecting some above average severe weather there for Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, and then maybe even into Missouri and Arkansas, and then maybe even the deep south states as well, right there in between the blue and the yellow. I just wanted to mention that because I feel like that's an important player in this severe weather forecast. But we're going to be dealing with some warmer than normal conditions for that orange region. We even have a second shade there specifically for Washington, Oregon, through Idaho, Nevada, and California, where it's just going to be a little bit warmer than normal, even comparatively to the orange areas outside of that deeper orange region. Now, we also have a third area of above average temperatures here for Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and then up through some of those mid-Atlantic states like Maryland, Delaware, as well as New Jersey and even DC there. So we could be dealing with some slightly above average temperatures for this region. And I've kind of flirted with the idea of seeing that those two warmer than normal regions connect, but it seems like that east central region is going to be a lot closer to average and even maybe a little bit below average. So that's why I've held off with having those two orange sections connect, just in case anybody was wondering. All right, now we're about to get into our severe weather forecast here, and then we're going to talk about our overall forecast as well. So two very exciting portions of the videos coming right up. All right, so we have two layers here for our severe weather forecast. Our first one is just going to be our slightly above average severe weather here, which is going to extend from Montana down through Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, and then in through Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi. And this is kind of a classic, kind of like 20 years ago severe weather season look, because typically in the 2000s and 2010s, we would be dealing with deep south, that Dixie Alley, like I was saying before, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, those areas getting kind of the heart of the severe weather and the most above average severe weather. But it looks like this year with the current temperature and precipitation setup, I would say it's most likely going to be in our more classic areas like Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska, maybe even a little bit of Texas as well, and in through Missouri and Arkansas. That's the more old school severe weather setup. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out and if we continue to see this look on our severe weather forecast. But that Colorado region is going to be very interesting, as well as up through Wyoming and Montana. I remember we had a few outbreaks for this region last year, so it'd be interesting to see if we see more this year. We even have a second layer here of severe weather, which is where I'm especially expecting to see more severe weather than typical, and that's going to be for a little bit of Colorado there through Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. Again, just a very classic severe weather region here where we would typically see a lot of severe weather, and not from 2010 from 2000 through like 2019. This would typically be set up a little bit more to the southeast, like I said before. So this is very interesting to see it kind of retreating back to where it would typically be 20 or 30 years ago. All right, now let's get into our overall forecast, which is going to be very, very exciting to take a look at. I'm going to be showing you guys from west to east, just talking about each region. So first off, we have our more dry region there for Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, and Utah there. And that's just an area where we're expecting drier than normal conditions. And it is going to be more warm than normal as well, but I think the dry is going to be the most noticeable feature there. Also to your south, we have a warmer than normal condition region set up, and this is where we're expecting less dry conditions, but more warm than normal conditions there for Southern California, Southern Nevada, Southern Utah, and then through Arizona, New Mexico, and in through Texas. Now, for the mountains, the Rocky Mountains specifically, we have mountain snow. That's very, very typical, so I just wanted to mention, even though we have warmer and drier than normal conditions in the area, we're still going to be dealing with some snow, especially earlier on, like April, for those mountain regions. Also, we see to the east of that region, our most severe weather region, and obviously you saw just on our graphics before that I was just showing, this would obviously be the region where I'm expecting the most above average severe weather to occur, from Montana down through Wyoming, and then into our plains, and then back through into some of the southeast and the deep south, like Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, areas like that. To your north, we have colder than normal conditions for the Midwest and Great Lakes regions of the United States, including Chicago and Minneapolis. Then to your southeast, specifically for the southeastern United States and for a bit of the mid-Atlantic, we have above average thunderstorms and precipitation for this region, but I thought thunderstorms was more interesting. So we are going to be dealing with probably more thunderstorms than what you're typically used to for all of these light green regions. Then for our northeast and some of the areas like Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, areas like that, we're going to be dealing with a late start to spring, I believe. In a winter like we've been having, typically we see things start to cool down in March and April. I don't really know why this is, but typically a very, very warm winter would lead to a cold start to spring. It's kind of like winter arrives a little bit late, and then we will see spring arrive late as well. So that's what this light blue region is indicating. And then also some snow there for the interior regions of the New England states. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends and family, and I'll see you guys in the next video.